Welcome to Unity of Yucaipa. I am Reverend Deanna. I wanted to talk for a few minutes about Dr. Emmet Fox and his book, The 7-Day Mental Diet. Oh, this is such a good book. So simple. It's not even a book. It is an article that he wrote, and it got put into nice book form, so I can carry it around with me. But he talks about the importance of what we feed our minds. Now, we all know the importance of what we feed our body. That makes a difference. What we eat can make us feel terrible or can make us feel energized. Well, the same is true about our mental diet. It can make us feel terrible, can make us feel energized. Dr. Fox says the most important of all factors in your life is the mental diet on which you live. And this is not about pretending everything is good, pretending to be positive, ignoring the scary things. But it's how we think about what we think about. And how we think about what we think about determines whether we thrive or not. So, I just want to talk about signs that I know I need to sit with the 7-Day Mental Diet. It's time for me to have a little appointment with Dr. Emmet Fox when I do these things. The first thing is I will look at another person, what they're doing, how they're behaving, and I will think, that person needs to do the 7-Day Mental Diet by Dr. Emmet Fox. You know what? We really should just be staying in our own lanes, right? We all know that. So I know that when I'm saying that about another person, when I'm criticizing, when I am judging, it's time for me to get back in my own lane. I'm not driving anybody else's bus. I'm just driving my own bus. You know, we really don't know what is going on in the thought process of another person. And so if we think we know what they should or shouldn't do, we think that we know what's best for them, that's really our own arrogance because we don't know where they are on their journey yet. Dr. Christiane Northrup, she said something that I thought was really beautiful. She talked about allowing others the dignity of their own timeline. And this means that, when we're ready to learn something, when we're ready to accept something, we get to a point where finally we do. But up until that point, and we weren't ready for that yet. We weren't prepared for that yet. I remember when my kids were young and we joined a local homeschooling group, and the moms there were all into organic eating and would talk about like being gluten-free and all this stuff. Well, at the time, I just wasn't there yet in my own way of thinking because I would think, well, we're all doing fine, driving through fast food to get lunch on our way to Park Day with our homeschooling friends. But over the years, over a couple of years, I watched the example of their health journey, listened to their stories, and then I realized, you know what? I think this would be a good idea. They allowed me the dignity of my own timeline. They didn't judge me. They didn't try to push me into changing how I mothered my kids, what I was feeding them. And so I came to it on my own when I was ready. All right, so I know that if I'm falling into the trap of wanting to tell somebody, you shouldn't do that, or you should do this, and then you'll be more spiritual and acceptable. That's just my own arrogance. I don't know what's best for another person. I only know what I can do in here. Another sign that I know that I need to sit and reevaluate my mental diet is if I am beating myself up over things. If I wake up one morning and my knees hurt and I say things like, well, if you're more spiritual and you did your affirmations and if you just weren't thinking negatively and, being hard on myself, I know I need to look at my thought pattern again. What am I feeding my mental self? What am I pouring into my subconscious mind? More that I'm a failure because my knees hurt? Life is hard enough without us being judgmental toward our own selves, right? I get up really early every morning, like 4:30, and I'm highly focused. Like my brain gets in this mode where it's like the Autobahn highway, okay? Like 200 miles an hour, and I'm doing 5 things at one time. And I just feel highly focused. I get a lot done. And then all of a sudden, like 11 or 12, maybe 1, I will have a crash. Like I'm done. My brain is fried. I'm done. And for a while, I was so hard on myself. And I would think, oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? Why can't you keep active all through the afternoon? Why are you so tired? Is it low thyroid? Is it depression? What's going on? And I was so down on myself. So down on myself. Every day we get the opportunity. I love this in the 4 agreements. Always do your very best. And Don Miguel Ruiz says that our best varies from day to day. One day, maybe we'll have a little more energy. Maybe we slept a little better. Another day, maybe it's not so much. So every day, we're just doing the best that we can. I did have an interesting experience, though, because I've been practicing this. I came home Sunday after service, and I had been up since 4 a.m. because on Sundays, I get up at 4 a.m. on purpose. And I give a talk. I put out a lot of energy. I'm busy. I'm really busy from 4 o'clock till about 12 o'clock. I'm in constant motion. I got home Sunday. It was like 1. I sat down with my planner, and because I'm real excited about planning out this coming week. I'm sitting with pen in hand, and I am exhausted. I felt that brain just total brain cloud. And what I said to myself surprised me. I said, your brain says it's time to rest. It's time to rest. You already put in an 8-hour day, Deanna. You did great. And I was just like, whoa, I didn't beat myself up about that. So we just do our very best from week to week. But know that if you are beating yourself up over anything, if you can just say that you did your best, just say that you did your best. We've got so much going on in this world right now. Right? We need to give ourselves a break. Give ourselves a break. Another sign I know that I need to sit down with and reevaluate my diet, my mental diet, is I'm doubting myself. I'll be doubting myself, and I doubt what it is that's working through me, for me, as me. So, we get aligned with spirit. We're feeling really good. We receive inspiration. We get excited by that inspiration. We put it in our imagination. We try it on. We get super excited. And then, it just takes a few minutes to do this, our little me just jumps right on in, right? You can call it your saboteur. Like some people could call it the devil, the ego, whatever. Call it whatever you want. But it's a little saboteur. And it sits right here and it says, well, you're pretty excited about that. But that's going to be really hard work. And what if you fail? And then what if everybody laughs at you? And what if it turns out to be really expensive? Or but there's no guarantee? And well, what if it means, right? And all of a sudden, we're doubting, right? We're doubting the inspiration that chose us to come through. We are here as a soul and a body to have an experience and to call forth our divine nature into all of our activities throughout our day. No matter what we're doing, we're here to call forth the divine through us, whether we are doing our laundry or we're writing a book or we're on the phone with a friend. Like, we're here to call forth more of the divine through us, for us, as us. We're not here to just think about how we have a divine nature. Okay, you can think about things all day long, and that doesn't mean it's going to change your life. You can think about a delicious dinner that you want to prepare. But if you just lay there and think about it, that dinner doesn't happen. You have to get up. You have to go into your kitchen. You have to maybe go to the store, right? You cannot just think about a delicious dinner and expect to have that delicious dinner. I mean, or you can call somebody, but it requires you to do something, right? So calling forth our divine nature, we think about it, of course, first, but then we put it into action through our choices, through our activities, by acting on inspiration. And we're stepping out of the comfort zone. My favorite quote by Meister Eckhart, I know I say this all the time, but when the soul wants to have an experience, she creates an image of it, throws it out in front of her, and she steps into it. We create the image, right? The soul gives us the inspiration. We get excited about it. That's it being thrown in front of us. We get motivated. We take action. And we are moving into that image. We are creating that in our life. But if we start doubting we doubt the inspiration, we doubt what we're capable of, we're putting ourselves into restriction mode, right? If we're thinking, oh, I couldn't do that. My family would think I was so weird. Oh, I couldn't do that. There's no monetary security in that. I couldn't do that. Oh, I couldn't make this big change. That might mean that I'd have to set boundaries and tell people no, and then maybe they wouldn't like me. And, okay. So, yeah, that's how I know that I need to reevaluate what I am putting into my thoughts if I'm doubting what it is that works through me, for me, as me. Another sign that I know that I need to look at my mental diet is I will receive that inspiration, get real excited, and I may not doubt myself, but I may just decide to blow it off because I'll think, I don't know how. I don't know how to do that. You know, when I learned to crochet, like back in 2003, 2004, and of course I didn't know how to crochet at first. I didn't know how, but I was watching other people crochet, and I thought it looked really fun. And I just had this idea. I look back now and I know it was inspired action, but I had this idea, I want to crochet. And I was thinking about how, like, when you crochet, it keeps your hands busy, and I like to keep my hands busy. And so I received that. But what if I turned it down because I didn't know how? Right? Who knows how to crochet before they learn how to crochet, right? And so I like if I receive that inspiration, crochet, it'll relax you, you'll have fun. But then if I were to say, oh, but I don't know how, I mean, come on, right? I learned from my friends, and I learned from my mom and my aunt, and I went on YouTube and looked at videos on how to crochet stuff. Like, I literally, that was my search, how to crochet stuff, right? And I learned to crochet. When we receive divine inspiration, that inspiration, remember, that's the soul creating an image of what she wants to experience next so she can step out into it. So we receive inspiration. Well, along with that inspiration comes the means to make it so, right? We receive the inspiration, and along with it comes everything we need. Now, it may not necessarily be that we intellectually know how to do something or that we have the physical stamina to do something, but we receive guidance, and it may guide us. Look for how-to video on YouTube. Call so-and-so. Look for a professional. Go on Yelp. Call your mother. Call your son. So we're guided to do that next thing, and it might be that that person is who helps us do that next thing. I wouldn't try to fix my own car. I wouldn't, like, there are a lot of things that I wouldn't want to do, like, and I couldn't do them, but I would know how to get in touch with somebody who does. So if you're letting that hold you back, like, oh, I don't know how. If you're letting that hold you back from a divine inspiration that you were really pretty excited about, you might, maybe you want to check this book out too. One last sign that I know I need to reevaluate my mental diet is I will start worrying about conditions. Now, I may feel really great. I may feel positive and in bold faith and just feeling so confident and excited. But like recently I got a text on my phone. It was an alert text, and it said, warning, COVID-19 on the rise. And I was just like, oh man. And I kind of felt myself deflate. And I happened to be shopping. I happened to be at a store. And of course, you know, wearing my mask and socially distancing and, you know, all that stuff. But I read that, and it just, all of a sudden, I was like, I'm looking at my text, and I'm looking around, like, at the other people. And we're all looking at each other. And I realized in that moment, we were not looking at people, we were looking to see the potential virus. in that moment, like it just took seconds, I said to myself, I am so glad I am diving in so deep with Emmet Fox right now. And so I did something. This is what I do when I worry about conditions. I reframe the worry, I reframe it. Um, and so I'll start off with even though. And in the Bible, biblically, this is how Jesus said, cast your burdens. Your burden is heavy and mine is light. My yoke is light. So cast your burdens on me. Okay, so in early Unity teachings, this was called denials and then affirmations. And I mean, it still is in Unity teachings, of course. I just don't care for the word denial. I like reframe. My friend told me that. Reframing. And so what happens is, like yesterday, what I did, I reframed right away. And I said, even though I acknowledged, right? So I could cast my burden. Even though there's a lot of things about the pandemic that are weirding me out right now and cause me worry, cause me doubt, cause me fear, there is still that within me that knows what to do and how to do it. And it compels me to act on what it knows. Even though I'm worried for my friends, for my family, for myself, that divine intelligence is at work in all things, in my friends, in my family, in the people that I love. The divine intelligence is at work in me right now. And it knows it knows everything in a big way, right? I don't have to know how divine intelligence functions. It functions on its own. I just remember that it's there. Okay, so I am an emanation of God in this world, in this physical life right now. I'm the activity of God in this world. So that's the thing I do next. Now, Emmet Fox, he says that it's okay if we have a negative thought about something. What's important is how we continue to think about that thought. So when the pandemic popped into my head, I didn't keep fretting about it. I acknowledged, yeah, there's a pandemic, and yes, we have to behave a certain way right now. Yes, we take precautions right now. I was just observing. It's not that we had a negative thought, it's how we think about that thought. And I just did my reframing, I surrendered, and I let it go. I did. I let it go. I felt better. Now, when we're feeling better and we have an easier time getting into the bold faith, we are more open and allowing for opportunities for more good to come through us, for us, as us. When we are monitoring, watching our mental diet and feeding ourselves so that we do have that faith and the confidence, we're receiving divine instruction and we're acting on that. We act on that. We're designed to thrive no matter the conditions in this world right now. We are still designed to thrive. We have that within us that knows what to do, how to do it, and it compels us to act on what it knows. So we just say yes, we listen to our direction, and we do that next thing, whatever that happens to be, that's for our highest good. All right. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Love you guys.